The Orioles start the new decade with young talent and that old Oriole. The Bullets bang their way through April, including games with Akeem Olajuwon and the Rockets, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks, and Michael Jordan and the Bulls. The Caps rev up their division motors as they race for the Stanley Cup. Home Team Sports presents all home Capitals playoff action with exclusive coverage of the rest of the NHL, concluding with every game of the Stanley Cup Finals in May. We're expanding our auto racing coverage in April, and you'll see the Long Beach and the Phoenix Time Trials and 3 new weekly racing programs. Pizza Hut is the exclusive sponsor of National Cable Month. TV you've got to see.
Here's Stevie Wonder.
Oh, no matter what you do, know that I'll be there for you. You can depend on me, yeah.
Kodak batteries have been improved, so now you can rock up to 111 days without changing the batteries in your radio. Kodak batteries. Depend on us to last longer.
Biscuit! You'll never make it! 7:58, Jeff. 2-minute warning. Couldn't do it, huh? Get a sausage and egg biscuit, biscuits and gravy, or a bacon and egg biscuit for just 99 cents at Hardee's. Go for it.
Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup champions, and for the Washington Capitals, the road to the Stanley Cup continues right here on Home Team Sports tonight. The Capitals, in an exciting 20 minutes of play, skate off the ice leading 1-0 on a goal by Stephen Leach. Larry King, talk show host, will be joining us here momentarily. Quite a hockey fan. You're welcome to join in at 301-499-6600. That's 301-499-6600. Stay tuned.
We'll open your eyes in April. It's National Cable Month. TV you've got to see. The Orioles start the new decade with young talent and that old Orioles magic. The Bullets bang their way through April, including games with Akeem Olajuwon and the Rockets, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks, and Michael Jordan and the Bulls. The Caps rev up their division motors as they race for the Stanley Cup. Home Team Sports presents all home Capitals playoff action with exclusive coverage of the rest of the NHL, concluding with every game of the Stanley Cup Finals in May. We're expanding our auto racing coverage in April, and you'll see the Long Beach and the Phoenix Time Trials and 3 new weekly racing programs. Pizza Hut is the exclusive sponsor of National Cable Month. TV you've got to see.
Here we go. Sutter carries from center ice. He's across the blue line. Mason comes out. Here's a shot. Saved by Mason. An exciting 20 minutes of play here at the Capitol Center. Caps lead the series 3-2. They're leading tonight after one period by a score of 1-0. Welcome back. I'm Jeff Rimmer in our intermission studios. And here on Home Team Sports, it's always a pleasure to welcome back Larry King, who's quite a hockey fan. And Larry, with all the jobs that you've got now, I know it's tough for you to be here, but have you ever seen a more excited Capitol Center crowd than they are here tonight, and a better game?
The pitch, the fever pitch is incredible. I've been coming here since 1978. I've never quite seen it like tonight. You're right. Also, I'm a little fascinated with all the white shirts. What are they?
The Capitals asked the fans to wear white here tonight. If you remember back a few years ago, the Washington Capitals actually started this phenomenon, and the Winnipeg Jets in their home rink here a couple of weeks ago did the same thing. It really inspires the crowd and the players.
Looks like a nurses' convention. No, honestly, I didn't expect this. Now, I was part of the Dolphin broadcast team when we introduced the handkerchief, the white handkerchief, which was the first time there was ever a white handkerchief. When the Dolphins would score, all the fans would get up and wave white handkerchiefs. But that was like a promotional gimmick for the radio network. Honest, we had this gimmick. Sponsors didn't know. The sponsors used to say, well, everyone who's sponsoring on the network is at the game who's listening to us. So we said, wave your hanky.
We know you're a great baseball fan, Larry, but I know that you're a tremendous hockey fan. And there's been a lot of knocks by the American press here in recent years about the violence of the National Hockey League. Maybe it is excessive to a point. The Islander-Rangers series certainly illustrates that. But when the game is played as well as that first 20 minutes of play, it's just as good as any sport, if not better than any sport being played today.
That's an example, correct. And there's been a lot less violence in the playoffs. That Ranger-Islander excuse. Been less major penalties in this playoffs than others. I think the referees have better control of it. Von Helleman, I think a referee keys the way a game is going to be played. He's in control. He's going to let you get away with little things. He's going to call the big things. I think he tells both teams that before they start. Also, these two teams know each other pretty well. You've played each other all the time. I think the rivalries are kind of, put at bay. And then another thing is that you're in a game where one team has to win, and the Devils have to win today. There's no tomorrow for New Jersey, and that, I think, causes you to be a little hesitant. Although I will say that was a spirited period of play, as I've seen, next to last night's King-Flame game.
And you stayed up till the end.
I stayed till 3 o'clock. My wife thought I was berserko. I was hypnotized by that game. It was one of the best back-and-forth hockey games I've ever seen.
Let's go to the phone lines. We ask you to be brief. We'll move along to Mark from Bethesda. You're on Home Team Sports, and welcome.
Yeah, good evening. How are you gentlemen doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
I'd like for you to comment on last night's game against Los Angeles and Calgary. I was pretty surprised that they pulled it off. And really quick, the Capitals are really looking good defensively. What do you think, how far do you think can they go?
Well, you saw the Los Angeles Kings knock off the Calgary Flames last night. For those that watched on Home Team Sports, it went into double overtime. Denny Morrell, you talk about officiating. Denny Morrell made a bad call at the end of that first overtime, Larry. There's no question the Calgary Flames had scored that goal in the first overtime.
Did you see that goal?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a fan of Denny Morrell, and I think he's an even-up referee, in my opinion. He gives you one, he gives them one. I never saw that puck go over the line. You saw that puck go over the line?
The puck went over the line. And the goaltender was in the net behind the line.
The goaltender was behind the line.
If he's got the puck, it's a goal.
I never saw the puck go over the line.
How far can the Capitals go?
I think the playoffs, it's like having what do you do if you're an ordinary baseball team with a great pitcher? If Beaupre is Hershiser, he can go all the way. I mean, if a goaltender is unstoppable, if he has a terrific and Liut's a good backup, you can go as far as it takes you. I'm picking Montreal because of goaltending. I think he's just plays better goal in the playoffs. But of these teams, this has been such a closely matched league that you have the defending champion gone in the first round.
Second year in a row, Edmonton did it a year ago. Mark from New Carrollton, you're on Home Team Sports.
First, just like to say, Larry, I love your show whenever I'm up late.
Thank you.
I have nothing better to listen to.
Thank you.
Well, the question is, actually, so you're talking about goaltending. Beaupre's been playing awesome the last 2 games, and I can't see really taking him out. But if you see them making, let's say, to the next series against the Rangers, how far do you wait before bringing, someone with the best goal average in with Mike Liut? How long do you wait before you...
Well, I don't think there's a rule of thumb on that. I think each coach has his own method. This is Terry Murray's first year of coaching in the big leagues, and I don't know what the rule is on it. I would tend to stay with the hot goaltender.
Terry Murray's already made it clear. In fact, he's criticized the opposing coach. You stay with a winning goaltender. The Caps will stay with Don Beaupre.
There's a part I don't understand. Now, you know hockey a long time, Jeff. What do you care who the other coach puts in goal? And why would there be criticism? Who cares?
It's gamesmanship. Larry, nice to have you with us here on Home Team Sports. Want to see you a little later in the playoffs as well.
I'll be back.
Larry King joining us here. We've got more of our first intermission, so stay tuned. Caps lead by 1.
This graph shows that your car can drive better with Texaco's System 3 gasoline. In the BMW test, ordinary gasoline built up valve deposits, but System 3 actually took them away. Tank after tank, valves got cleaner and cleaner. As for performance, after 5 tanks, it gets even better.
Right now, Safeway is selling postage stamps for less than face value.
Is that legal?
Just buy a Safeway Stamp Savers book. You get 12 stamps that cost you $3 at the post office, but only $2.70 at Safeway.
That's not legal, is it?
Plus coupons on famous brands for valuable savings.
Does the Postmaster General know about this?
Actually, yes. The Stamp Savers book, in cooperation with the U.S. Postal Service. Only at Safeway.
Subway makes the BMT and it's my way. The BMT's got a spicy secret at Subway. It's got thick and crisp and cool as ice. But what's that secret? Slice of spice. That secret taste is just one place. Subway, my way. Subway, there's a secret to the BMT at Subway, my way. Subway, spice the way it ought to be at Subway.
Washington Capitals game coverage on Home Team Sports is brought to you by Safeway. Come see the difference at Safeway. Well, the Capitals have taken a 1-0 lead over the New Jersey Devils in Game 6 of the Patrick Division semifinal round. We've completed just 20 minutes of play, and the goal from Steve Leach came with only 11 seconds left in tonight's first period. Mike Fornes welcoming you back once again with Al Koken, and a first period that I think the Capitals are very, very relieved to have a lead after the way things went in the period. Goodness knows the Devils had enough chances.
I think they definitely had the better of the chances in that period, and certainly you got to go back to Kasatonov hitting that goalpost on the open net, and maybe that was the moment that everything started to smile on the Capitals. But Don Beaupre, I thought, came up with some critical stops. He held the Capitals in there till they could regroup, and we talk about the first goal of the game being big, but what about a goal that comes just 11 seconds left in the period? That normally is also a huge goal, so the Caps really get a double benefit by that Stephen Leach goal.
And you also talk about pressure on the Soviet defensemen. Let's take a look now at our Home Team Sports shot chart for the Washington Capitals. They had 11 shots, and once again, Steve Leach gets the goal as the Soviets were pressured indeed.
Well, there's no question about that, Mike. The Capitals get the puck down deep. Now, you got right here, you got Fetisov and Michael Pavanka with the puck down here. Now, watch as this battle begins. Pavanka fights to keep it alive, but Kasatonov comes up with it, and he'll knock it over to his partner Fetisov. Now, stop it right here. Now, you see Fetisov is facing this way. When he turns, he hurries his pass. Stephen Leach simply puts a little move, sticks out the stick, and watch how he'll intercept this pass as Fetisov doesn't want to wait. He just throws it right up. Now, stop it again. Now, look what Pavanka does. He comes in on Fetisov and literally screens Fetisov away from Stephen Leach, allowing Leach to move in. Now, Leach will also make a little fake here, and watch how Terreri comes out, starts to move his shoulders down a little bit as if he's anticipating the pass. There's Fetisov rubbed out. Now, see, stop it there. See where Terreri has already started to lean down, and he's vacated this area right in here, and that's where Stephen Leach will just hold on and put it past Terreri right on that open side. Once the man comes in, Terreri has vacated that spot, and just a nice play all the way around. But again, when they don't get hit, the Soviet defensemen are starting to rush their passes, and that was a perfect example. He didn't have to do it. Had his head down, all of a sudden looked up, tried to throw that pass right away as opposed to taking that extra second, which they normally do and which they're normally so good at.
The Devils had 3 more shots than did the Capitals during the first period. Let's take a look at their shot chart.
And while we see where many of those 13 shots came from, we cannot see one of the best scoring chances they had, and that was a puck that hit the goalpost to Beaupre's right. Well, with Kasatonov coming in and hitting that open net, the pressure was off. Right there, the Capitals weren't in a hole, and then Don Beaupre responded with some terrific work on his own right. But again, that's a pretty good example. As you say, look where those shots are coming from. Every goaltender will take those couple close-in chances if the rest of them come out from the blue line. Now here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. As you would expect here at the Capitol Center tonight, the New York Rangers, who won their series over the Islanders in 5 games, have plenty of their scouts in attendance, including Coach Roger Nielsen. Rangers are off till Thursday, possibly to play the Washington Capitals, who with a home ice victory would have off until Thursday. But tonight, Roger Nielsen is here to scout the game, and he'll be our second intermission guest, so stay tuned for that. The teams are back on the ice now for period number 2. Let's rejoin Mike Bournes and Al Koken.
All right, thanks very much, Jeff. Looking at the shots in that first period, John Druce of the Washington Capitals came up with an official 4 shots on goal. Stephen Leach, the Capital goal scorer, picked up 2. And for the New Jersey Devils, who had 13 shots compared to the Capitals' 10, Bruce Driver with 3. And you look at some of the other guys, very active. How many of those defensemen were involved in the play? Driver getting a big period with those 3 shots. Fetisov also coming up with shots, as did Kasatonov. So the New Jersey Devil defensemen were certainly very active and very important to the overall success of the Devils in terms of accumulating some offense in that first period. But it's the Capitals who have a lead to work with. Now we'll have to check it and see who had a shot taken away from the Capitals, but they've now said the Capitals officially have 10 shots and not 11, so evidently one was removed at the intermission. We're underway now with period number 2. Capitals leading 1-0. Al May jammed up against the sideboards by Conacher, and out of his zone comes Druce with the puck, racing to center. He's across the blue line, and Druce has it slapped away by the stick of Bruce Driver. Here's Brown, moving it ahead to Naylor. Now Berglund throws it back to Scott Stevens. Stevens tosses the puck over to Bob Rouse. Rouse puts it back inside the New Jersey zone. Caps changing up right away. Here comes Danico. Off the boards and all the way down the ice. Conacher lifted a leg to let it go by, and as Langway picks it up, it's icing against the Devils. So far, in all the hockey games played in the series, the team that has scored the first goal has won. And the Capitals think maybe a little too early to really go into that good neutral zone checking game that they featured in the third period once they took a 1-goal lead, where they completely bottled up New Jersey. New Jersey could never get anything going through the neutral zone, and when they did, when the few times they were able to make plays, the Capital forwards holding people up, allowing the defense to stand there, make the plays. But we've got to see the Capitals, I think, add at least another goal, maybe 2, if they could do that before they really start to hang back in a more of a defensive posture. I think they've been very effective coming down and getting deep pressure right now, particularly when you've got the 2 Soviets that are out there right now. That has really been a key for the Capitals, that heavy hitting right there behind the net and at the goal. Here comes Shanahan out to center ice on the right wing for New Jersey. Drops it off now for McLean. A flat shot, missing up high and wide, and it skims off the stick of Kasatonov back to center ice. Fetisov to pick it up. Leads it to the blue line from McLean, stolen by Ridley. Now Shanahan comes back again to get it. Leads it out to McLean, to center ice, to Fetisov. Over to Kasatonov, now back into the Washington zone, and Langway into the corner. Gives to Kelly Miller. He's checked by McLean. Up the boards, here's Kasatonov, has it knocked away, and Langway is back for it. Rod Langway idles behind the Capitals goal and now starts out. Right wing side to Hatcher. Drives it back into the New Jersey zone. Caps complete the line change. Puck cleared up the boards. Goes all the way down the ice now. Scott Stevens back to get it. Plays it up the left wing side for Courtnall. He tips it to the blue line. Carries to center ice. Courtnall across the line. Inside the Devil zone to Ciccarelli. A shot just wide. Rebound shot. That's stopped by Terreri. Terreri stopped the drive from Courtnall. Stevens has it taken away now by Morris. John Morris to center. Inside the Washington zone. Wrist shot. 6 save by Beaupre. Here comes Scott Stevens. Up
to Cicerelli, hit by Shostry, and the puck cleared back inside the Washington zone. Stevens back to take it. Circles the net. Starts out right wing side. John Tucker into the skates of Hunter. And Shostry takes over. Right side now for Muller. Kirk Muller across the line. Right wing pass for Morris in the corner. Muller works it free out to Morris to the point. Danico a drive. That's deflected. Back into the corner. Here's Muller. Hit on the play. Hunter tries to move it along. Danico keeps it in. Ken Danico right in front of the goal. But Scott Stevens was there. He finds Tucker. He finds Courtnall. He's in along the shot. And a goal! A great pass combination that started back at the Washington blue line. And Jeff Courtnall puts the Capitals in the lead, 2-0. Well, Tucker finds Courtnall. Courtnall catches it, drops it, and with Terreri out and on the move, those legs were open just a bit, and that's where Courtnall put it. Jeff Courtnall got his first goal of the series the other night, and now he puts on a huge goal on the scoreboard. With Terreri on the move, there's a little opening, and that's where Courtnall goes. That great speed of Courtnall, the great recognition of Tucker makes that scoring play happen. With Danico and Belichick trying to pinch in, desperately trying to get a goal for the Devils. There was an opening. Courtnall exploited it, and a heads-up play by Tucker to find it. Time of the goal, 3:27. Stevens and Tucker get the assist on Courtnall's second of the playoffs in as many games. The Devils start hitting. Turgeon throws a check in the corner on Joyce. And back comes Washington with Steve Leach leading the attack. Leach into the corner. Takes it behind the net. Leach held up on the play. Here comes Hatcher into the corner. Dodges a check, throws it behind the goal for Pavanka. Michael Pavanka right out front. Joyce, and he fans on a shot. He was hooked. And Turgeon starts back now for New Jersey. Right side pass to Brook. Capitals changing the line. Here's Brook turning at center. Right wing for Weinrich. Weinrich into the corner. Tries to center. Almay knocks it free. Now Conacher has it chased away. And Brook tries to keep it in. Weinrich flips into the corner. Langway back to the goal. Up the boards on the right wing to the blue line. Here's Langway over after it. He throws it all the way down the ice. No icing. Terreri comes to the corner to make the play. Drops it off now for Casatona. Alexei Casatona. Out to Doug Brown. Brown to center. In across the blue line for Fetisov. He tries to rush the puck and is met by Langway. Sheehy in the corner. He's all over Conacher. Maley goes in on behind on Sheehy and busts him. Langway takes Maley. Now here's a shot to the side of the net. Stolen. And cleared by Bergman. Almost had Bruce away on a breakaway. May has lost his stick. The puck goes to the corner. Sheehy's back to throw a hit. Here's May without a stick, jamming up and tries to cover the puck now against the board. Sheehy stands up to Maley and gives him a shot. And the linesmen get in there before anything can further happen between David Maley and Neil Sheehy of Washington.
Right now at Jiffy Lube, you'll get great service and great savings with the Pennzoil Car Care Savings Book. It's filled with coupons that can save you over $80 on helpful car care products. And it's yours free with any oil change using the world-class protection of quality Pennzoil. So come by participating Jiffy Lube today. Get a fast, professional oil change with quality Pennzoil and your free Pennzoil Car Care Savings Book.
Tuesday is Ladies' Day at Jiffy Lube. Come by for a 14-point service and a special surprise just for the ladies.
A sea of white. The Capitol Center crowd, the vast majority wearing white. Close, if it's not a sellout, it's just a few seats short of it. They've had a lot to cheer about so far. A terrific hockey game. The Capitals with a 2-0 lead. Leach at 19:49 of period one. Courtnall just minutes ago at 3:27. There's 14:23 left in the second period. And this face-off, the Devils are very upset that this face-off is now outside of the Capital
zone. It seemed like Alan May was very content to go down and force the face-off, allow the face-off to take place.
Rod Langway hustling back to the dressing room. That can't be anything major. Puck cleared to the corner, now back to the point. Here's Danico to keep it in. From behind the net. McLean firing. Beaupre watches. 2 is left as the puck is played from the corner. Miller and Danico jam up, and now here comes Miller starting out to Ridley. Mike Ridley up to Kelly Miller. Miller at center ice. Works to the blue line. Walks in. Backhands to the corner. Randy Belichick back to take it. He's pinned on the play. Miller jams him up. And now Cicerelli tries to work it free from Sundstrom. Danico starts ahead to Shanahan. Off the skates of McLean to the corner. And here's Bob Rouse back to get it. Crowd starting to chant for Dino Cicerelli, who is on the ice right now. There's an offside play. Nobody has topped Dino's goal-scoring total so far in the other playoff series. Talking about those goals coming in bunches, and to read the quotes in the papers today, Al, he sounds like he could go along for quite a while.
Well, he, talked about the fact that he had one time scored 20 goals in 15 games in one stretch for Minnesota, because he's never done it in the playoffs. But he's coming very close to that at this pace.
Here's Quirknall in front of backhand shot. Ferrari makes the save. Weinrich tries to dig it out and gets it ahead to Muller. Kurt Muller, right side for Stastny. Stastny across the blue line. Now back to Muller at the point. It's let out of there as Sheehy chased it. The driver sends it back into the Washington zone. Dale Hunter. Over to Hatcher. Now to Sheehy. Up to Quirknall at center. Quirknall to the blue line. Gets inside the New Jersey zone. And Driver is over to get the puck. Stolen puck. Here's Quirknall. A backhand shot. Pass save. Rebound. And Terreri stops that at the side of the net. Now it's cleared to the corner. Bob Rouse walking in. Gives it over to Hunter. He tries to find Quirknall, but Muller takes it back to the Devils. Up to center ice. Now to Stastny. At the center line. Quirknall tries to steal. It comes back in Washington ice. Here's Tucker to Quirknall. In on Weinrich. And can't get past Eric Weinrich. The Devils come back. Stastny to the Washington zone. Stevens is able to pick it up. And he clears it all the way back inside the Devils' end. Now Kasatonov to pick it up for New Jersey. Leaves it ahead too far for Mark Johnson. This will be icing if Hatcher gets there first. And he does. There's the whistle to return the faceoff to the New Jersey zone with 11:57 to go in the second period. And the Washington Capitals leading the New Jersey Devils 2-0.
So what would have been so terrible if I had a small fortune? If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-boom. If I were a wealthy man, hey, I wouldn't have to work hard. All day long I'd biddy-biddy-boom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard.
Well, the story of the second period has been that man, Jeff Quirknall. All 4 Capital shots on goal in the period belonged to him, and of course the only goal of the stanza belonging to Jeff Quirknall, a man who now know the Capitals would love to get hot. Very similar to Cicerelli. He seems to get a lot of his goals in bunches. It's a real streak.
Here's Fetisov to the corner. Plays it up the boards, and Steve Leach in to tie up now with Fetisov behind the play. Conacher has it outside the Washington zone and dumps it in. Calle Johansson behind the net. Up the boards. Conacher takes it there. Throws it back to the goal to Brown. Doug Brown centers it. And Pivonka moves it out on the right wing to Steve Leach. There's a 2-on-1 with Pivonka. Leach in across the line. Passes. And it gets away from Pivonka. Conacher may have tipped it. Back is Pivonka with the puck now. Has it right off his stick all the way into the Washington zone. Pivonka goes back to chase it. Capitals complete underneath the line change. Here comes Pivonka in across the blue line. Wrist shot. That challenged Terreri. He had just got the wrist of his glove on that. And now Sundstrom flips to the center ice. Returned by Langway to New Jersey territory. Fetisov, right side McLean. John McLean for the Devils. Ahead to Patrick Sundstrom. Into the Washington zone. Here's Sheehy. Bump. And McLean tries to center. Ridley's got him. Now he gets loose. McLean ridden off by Langway, who also takes a spill. The puck behind the net. Centered. Beaupre the save. Rebound. Cleared to Miller. Miller starts out to Mike Ridley. Ridley with Ciccarelli. In across the line. Offside, Washington.
Well, Don Beaupre hasn't had a lot of serious work in this period with a great defensive job done in front of him, but he came up strong there on that last Devil chance. Only at Capital Cadillac can you experience the Capital Commitment, featuring lifetime lubrication, oil, and filter change with the purchase of your new Cadillac. Capital Cadillac, located on the Capital Beltway, exit 23 in Greenbelt, Maryland. Nino the dinosaur. I've seen the little dinosaurs in Minnesota. I've never seen one that big.
Peter Stastny. And the Caps win the draw. Here's Bob Rouse over to Scott Stevens. Drives it back inside the New Jersey zone. Hunter to the corner, jammed up on the play by Driver. The puck comes loose to Courtnall. He walks in front, takes a shot, a save, rebound is grabbed, and cleared out by Stastny. Kept in by Tucker. A drive! That's picked just wide by Chris Terreri in the New Jersey goal. Now John Morris starts back on the rush for the Devils. Gets across the blue line into Washington ice. Gives it to Stastny, a backhander. Caught by Beaupre, and he holds on with 9:54 to play in the second period.
Well, Mike, I tell you, Chris Terreri may like to have had another chance at that Jeff Courtnall goal as it goes right between his legs, but as far as I'm concerned, the only reason the Devils are still in this hockey game is because of Terreri. Look at this stop, and then John Tucker comes with another opportunity. The Capitals continue to buzz Chris Terreri. Courtnall got it between the pads, but from that point on, Chris Terreri has been outstanding, and he has given the Devils some hope in this hockey game. They're only down by 2. We've just passed the halfway mark of regulation time with 9:54 left on the clock for this second period.
The Caps have outshot the Devils in this period 9 shots to 5 and 19-18 so far in the game. Mark Johnson leans in to work against Michael Pivonka. From the draw, it comes back to Hatcher. Hatcher carries to center, flips it across the line for Joyce. Fetisov gets there first in the corner and leads the pass out. Brook to center to Turgeon. And Sylvain Turgeon up on the left wing, off the stick of Kasatonov to the corner. Kevin Hatcher works it away. Now Johansson feeds it ahead to Pivonka. 2-on-1 with Leach. Here's Pivonka walking in. A deep, a shot, a save, a rebound. It's loose in front of the net. And a shot by Leach is stopped. And cleared by Fetisov, all the way out to center ice. And Fetisov got the job done down on one knee. Here's Kasatonov to the blue line for Turgeon. He's met by Johansson. Alan May comes back for Washington. May to Pivonka. Inside the line. Bruce rushes to the corner. Bumped by Kasatonov. And a centering pass cleared out of there. Fetisov works it ahead to center ice. Now a collision there between Brook and Sheehy at the blue line. Devils start line changes. Here's a hit by Berglund on Belichick. Danico in behind his own goal. Lead pass goes up left wing side. Conacher over on the right wing now to Maley. Maley jammed up at the blue line, and here's Langway to steal. Flips it back to center up. Brown to the blue line. Cleared at the Washington line by Langway. Here comes Druce inside Jersey ice with Berglund. Druce held up and John Druce, left side for Scott Stevens. Tosses it into the corner, and Ferreri takes the play back out again to drive it. Kelly Miller keeps it inside the New Jersey zone. 7:40 to go, second period. Capitals leading 2-0. Here comes Sundstrom. Right side for Shanahan. Into the corner for Scott Stevens. Right side, Cicerelli. Can't clear it out. McLean keeps it in. Now it's flipped to center by Miller. Taken there by Eric Weinrich. Weinrich loses his edge. Miller tries to break free, but it's Shanahan who gets there first. A steal by Miller. Taken right back now by Sundstrom. Sundstrom to the Washington line. Carries on the left wing. Fires off the pads of Cicerelli into the corner. And Dino's back to chase it. He beats Kelly Miller. Here's Miller. Ahead to center up. Gets across the blue line. Cicerelli trailing the play. Looks for the puck and flushed along the boards. And now McLean comes back for New Jersey. Up to John Morris on the right wing. Morris to the blue line. Walks in. Gives to McLean. He fires. And off Beaupre comes right back out front. And then is sent into the goal. Low on the glove side. Beaupre was not looking for a return there. The Devils are on the board at 2-1.
Well, that is a big goal. This Capital team had been dominating the period, but New Jersey kept a little pressure up. And once Don Beaupre makes the save, watch how this just bangs off bodies in front and walks back in. Beaupre can't control it. And you see that clear attempted by Dino off Langway's skates. And it's a fluky goal, a lucky goal, but it's the type of goal that could really ignite a hockey team. The Capitals need a quick answer.
They give the goal to McLean, unassisted. At 13:21, that's McLean's fourth of the playoffs, and almost in a sense, that's what the Devils need to score here. You consider that puck touched 3 Washington Capitals before it went into the net. It hit Beaupre and the 2 defensemen. Nonetheless, it counts for New Jersey, and it's their first goal of this game. 2-1 the score. Plain unassisted. Here's Fetisov trying to center the puck. Now Langway moves it up the boards to Hunter. John Morris takes over for the Devils. Langway stands him up, and here comes Hunter with the puck. 3-on-2. Dale Hunter across the line with Tucker and Courtnall. Hunter centers it. And off Courtnall, it rides over the goal. Back comes Fetisov for New Jersey. Left side for John Morris. Morris inside the Washington zone. Over to Fetisov. Fetisov in the corner trying to center it. Scott Stevens gives it to Hunter, and Hunter clears it ahead. Courtnall racing into the corner after it. The play is onside. Courtnall is bumped by Kasatonov. Courtnall finally loses his stick. Kasatonov gets the puck. Stastny for the Devils, back to the Washington line, and Hatcher moves that out to Bob Joyce. Joyce along the boards, but right to Malin. Taken back by Pivonka. Stevens and Rout trading passes in the Washington zone. Out to Bob Joyce. Joyce dumps it into the corner. Here's Ferreri up the board. Leach turns it loose rink wide. The Devils come back to center, but Johansson has it now from Rout. Kasatonov. Knocked down by a high stick from Pivonka. Recovered by Brown. Now Pivonka feeds Joyce at the line, and it's slapped away. Back to center. Johansson. Over to Rout. Up into the skates of Pivonka. He's across the line. Looks for Joyce. Can't get it to him. Kasatonov got him bottled up. Now Joyce takes over. Bob Joyce into the corner. Held up by Brown on the play. Puck frozen against the corner boards, and Andy Van Hellemond reluctantly blows the whistle, and play is stopped. With 4:15 to go in the second period, it's a 2-1 Washington lead.
It's always sunshine fresh in the produce department at Giant.
Well, Terry Murray's challenge to make the Capitals just act like that goal that New Jersey scored never happened. It was a fluky goal, a goal with Capitals back covering up the puck, doing basically the right thing, but getting an unlucky bounce. Just continue to play the way they've been playing that second period, as they really have dominated everything. They continue to get the chances. They'll be back in the lead by 2.
Ciccarelli's shot kicked out of the zone by Sundstrom, and now Hatcher dumps it on in.
4 minutes to play, second period. Washington 2, New Jersey 1.
Shanahan goes right side. Here's Sundstrom across the blue line, challenging Langway, and his backhand shot hits the side of the Capitals net. Now Langway to the corner after. Over to Mike Ridley. Up the boards for Miller. Danico hits him, but the puck gets passed and comes all the way back inside the Devils zone for Randy Belichick. Shanahan chases the puck in, but Beaupre is there and makes a clearing pass out of the zone to Courtnall. Courtnall at the blue line has it taken away, and again here is Patrick. McLean up to center. Pops it in the air, back into the Washington zone. Rouse to the corner after. Bob Rouse, right side for Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall in across the blue line. Hook shot. Mark Johnson takes over for New Jersey. Pass too far on the right wing for Brook. Into the corner now goes Scott Stevens. Rouse and Hunter go in to bump Turgeon, and Turgeon responded with an elbow to the head of Dale Hunter. Here comes Johnson again to center. Hit by Leach. Stevens takes the puck. He feeds Pavanka. Pavanka across the line, looking for Joyce in front. A backhand shot. A shot. Rebounded. Knocked wide of the net, as Joyce was parked right at the side of Terreri. Now Leach has it behind the goal. Run off the play by Driver. Pavanka's hit, but still has possession. Here's Pavanka with it in front of backhander. Terreri to save, and he backs it to the corner. Driver bowling over. Steve Leach at the side of the net. Here's Leach with a puck on his backhand. Can't get it centered. Weinrich over to pick it up. Pavanka centers the puck, but it's grabbed there by Driver. He starts back to center ice. Stevens returns it to the New Jersey zone as both teams change lines. There's a lead pass stolen by Miller. Miller trying to center for Ridley. It's checked by Weinrich. Ridley has it behind the net. Played back to the corner boards, and Bob Brook comes out now for the Devils. A minute and a half to play in the second period. Johansson up the boards for Ridley. Mike Ridley, long right wing pass to Ciccarelli. Crisscrossing with Courtnall inside the line. Johansson keeps the play going. Tries to give it over to Courtnall, but Fetisov finds Stastny, and they clear it out now to center ice and John Morris. Morris to the Washington line to Kasakona. The Devils are offside on the play.
Boy, what a big break for the Capitals. A 3-on-2 there for the Devils, and they get themselves offside. Let's check in downstairs with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Al. Getting everybody caught up to date on the other games involved here now in this conference. First of all, Hartford ahead of the Boston Bruins. Now in the second period on a goal by Young. Montreal and Buffalo at the Forum tied 1-1. Rick Vaive, his fourth goal of the playoffs for the Sabres. And for Montreal, it's Schneider. Remember, the Canadians leading that series 3-2, as do the Bruins. Over the Hartford Whalers lead their series also 3-2. In case you missed it, this afternoon, the Orioles allow the Tigers to come from behind and lose 6-4. Let's go back upstairs. From the faceoff, it's kicked back to Langway in the Washington zone. Here comes Kevin Hatcher. Carries to the blue line. He's in with Bruce and Berglund. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Hatcher has it behind the net. Centers it. Bruce, a shot, and a goal! Hatcher did a great job of carrying the puck, and when he got it to Drews would not be denied. The Capitals lead 3-1.
looks at it. Stop once is Drews, but he will not be denied. Plants himself in that crease and just keeps banging away until he gets the Capitals back on top by 2. It was Leach with just 11 seconds left to go in the period, and this time with 54 seconds, it's John Drews.
1906.
Hatcher and Langway assisting in 1906 on the third goal of the playoffs for John Drews. Here comes Pivonka, ahead with Berglund, in across the line. Berglund centers it, and Pivonka's stick was held up by Sundstrom. Back come the Devils. Belichick moves it out. Sundstrom to the blue line. Play broken up, and Pivonka takes it back now for Washington. Finds when Randy Mitten gets caught in the traffic right in front of the Washington bench. With 7 seconds left, the Devils come out. Belichick throws it in and falls down at the red line. In the corner is Stevens. There's the end of the period. Shots on goal in period 2. 10 for the Devils, 23 after 2, 13 for the Caps, 23 after 2. And the Capitals outscore the Devils in this period with goals from Courtnall and Bruce. McLean gets the lone New Jersey score. It's a 3-1 Washington lead, 20 minutes to go.